If you spend time observing the daily lives of many Japanese elders, one movement quietly appears again and again, woven naturally into ordinary routines. It is the simple act of sitting down on the floor and standing back up. At first glance, this action seems almost too ordinary to deserve attention. Yet when scientists studied the biomechanics of this movement, they discover something fascinating. Rising from the floor is one of the most comprehensive functional movements the human body can perform. It requires strength, coordination, balance, and flexibility, all working together in a carefully timed sequence. When a person lowers themselves toward the floor, the body must control gravity rather than simply collapse into it. The hips bend, the knees flex, and the muscles along the thighs and glutes engage to slow the descent. At the same time, the core muscles stabilize the spine so the torso does not tip forward or lose balance. Even the ankles participate, adjusting the body's center of gravity to maintain stability. This coordinated control is not accidental. The nervous system constantly calculates small adjustments in muscle tension so that the body can move smoothly and safely. Standing back up from the floor demands even more from the body. In this moment, gravity becomes the resistance that muscles must overcome. The glutes, which are among the most powerful muscles in the human body, activate to extend the hips and drive the body upward. The quadriceps in the front of the thighs generate force to straighten the knees, while the core muscles stabilize the pelvis and spine so that power can transfer efficiently through the body. At the same time, the brain monitors balance through sensory receptors in the feet and joints, ensuring that the body remains stable as it rises. For people over 50, this movement becomes especially important because it reflects the body's ability to maintain independence. Many studies examining longevity have noted that the ability to sit and rise from the floor is closely associated with overall functional health. It requires mobility in the hips and knees, strength in the legs, and coordination between the nervous system and muscles. When this ability remains strong, it suggests that the body is still capable of performing complex movements that support everyday life. Another interesting element of this movement is the way it challenges multiple systems simultaneously. The muscles must generate force, the joints must move through a comfortable range of motion, and the nervous system must coordinate balance. This combination makes the action far more effective than many isolated exercises that target only a single muscle group. Instead of strengthening just one part of the body, it reinforces the cooperation between many structures at once. Over time, repeating this movement daily sends a clear signal to the body. The muscles of the hips and legs remain active and responsive. The joints maintain mobility because they continue moving through their natural ranges. The brain continues practicing the coordination required to control the body against gravity. These small repetitions accumulate quietly, strengthening the body in ways that are both practical and deeply functional. What appears to be a simple daily habit gradually becomes a form of natural training. Each time the body lowers itself to the floor and rises again, it rehearses the same patterns of strength, balance, and coordination that support walking, climbing stairs, and recovering from slips or stumbles. The body learns to trust its own ability to move through space with control, reinforcing the physical confidence that allows older adults to remain active and self-reliant. Another movement that quietly shapes the physical resilience of many Japanese elders is the simple act of squatting, or bending the knees deeply during everyday activities. In many modern environments, this movement has gradually disappeared from daily life. Chairs, elevated tables, and raised surfaces have reduced the need to bend the body toward the ground. While this shift has made certain tasks more convenient, it has also removed an important form of natural joint conditioning that the human body evolved to perform regularly. When a person lowers into a squat, the knees, hips, and ankles all move through a coordinated range of motion. The hips hinge backward while the knees bend forward, allowing the body's center of gravity to remain balanced over the feet. This action activates the large muscles of the thighs and hips, particularly the quadriceps and gluteal muscles. At the same time, the muscles around the ankles and calves stabilize the lower legs so the body can remain steady. The spine also plays a subtle but important role, staying aligned as the core muscles maintain support for the torso. From a physiological perspective, this type of movement performs a kind of internal maintenance for the joints. The surfaces of joints such as the knees are covered with cartilage, smooth tissue that allows bones to glide against one another without friction. Unlike many other tissues in the body, cartilage does not have a direct blood supply. Instead, it receives nutrients through the movement of synovial fluid, a specialized fluid that surrounds and lubricates the joint. When a joint bends and straightens, this fluid circulates across the cartilage surfaces, delivering nutrients and removing waste products. Regular squatting encourages this circulation of synovial fluid, helping maintain the health of the joint structures. When joints remain relatively still for long periods, this nourishing exchange becomes less efficient. Over time, stiffness may develop simply because the joints are not moving through their natural ranges. Gentle, repeated bending and straightening keeps the joint environment active and well-nourished. For adults over 50, this movement also plays an important role in maintaining muscular strength around the knee joint. The muscles surrounding a joint act like a dynamic support system, helping control how forces travel through the bones and ligaments. When these muscles remain strong and responsive, they reduce unnecessary strain on the ligaments and cartilage. Squatting gently trains these muscles to stabilize the joint during movement, improving both strength and coordination. Equally interesting is the way this movement preserves mobility in the hips and ankles. Deep knee bending requires flexibility in these areas, encouraging the body to maintain the range of motion needed for walking, climbing steps, or adjusting balance during unexpected shifts in terrain. In daily life, these abilities often determine how comfortably a person can move through their environment. Over time, incorporating this kind of bending into ordinary tasks, whether while gardening, organizing household items, or performing simple chores, creates a quiet but powerful conditioning effect. The body continues practicing the movement patterns it was designed to perform. Muscles stay engaged, joints remain nourished, and the nervous system refines the coordination required to move smoothly between standing and lower positions. Rather than treating exercise as a separate activity confined to a specific place or time, this approach integrates movement into life itself. Each gentle squat becomes a reminder that the body remains capable of adapting and maintaining strength through small, consistent actions repeated across the rhythm of everyday living. Another pillar of daily movement observed in many Japanese elders is walking not as a hurried exercise or a scheduled routine, but as a calm, consistent, and purposeful part of everyday life. It is the kind of walking that accumulates naturally, whether moving between rooms, taking a short trip to a local market, or strolling along a quiet street. At first it may seem mundane, but from a physiological perspective, this gentle, frequent walking provides a remarkable foundation for maintaining health, particularly after 50. The body responds not only to intensity, but also to consistency and rhythm. And the simple, repeated act of walking delivers subtle but powerful stimuli to multiple systems simultaneously. When a person walks steadily over time, the cardiovascular system experiences a moderate increase in demand, prompting the heart to pump more efficiently and the blood vessels to remain responsive. Unlike sudden bursts of vigorous exercise, this type of walking does not overwhelm the heart or lungs. Instead, it promotes a sustained flow of oxygenated blood to the muscles, supporting cellular activity, nutrient delivery, and waste removal. For adults over 50, this is particularly important because gradual, consistent stimulation of circulation reduces the risk of cardiovascular strain while maintaining endurance and energy for daily activities. The muscles of the legs are also quietly strengthened through repeated walking. Each step requires coordinated activation of the glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, and calf muscles. These contractions not only propel the body forward, but also assist in returning blood toward the heart, acting like small pumps that enhance circulation in the lower limbs. Over weeks and months, this regular activation helps maintain muscular tone and responsiveness, which contributes to stability, posture, and confidence when moving. The hips and knees are consistently engaged, reinforcing joint mobility and preserving the functional range of motion necessary for bending, climbing, and turning with ease. Walking also challenges the nervous system in subtle but essential ways. The body continuously adjusts to changes in terrain, shifts in balance, and minor obstacles along the path. Sensory feedback from the feet, ankles, knees, and hips is sent to the brain, where it is integrated to refine coordination and proprioception. This ongoing communication strengthens the nervous system's ability to predict and respond to movement demands, reducing the likelihood of falls and enhancing spatial awareness. Over time, these small daily adjustments reinforce neural pathways that preserve balance and functional mobility, a critical component of independence for older adults. From a metabolic standpoint, consistent walking encourages energy regulation and supports the body's natural rhythm. Muscles remain active, glucose is utilized efficiently, and the cardiovascular and respiratory systems remain engaged without excess strain. This pattern also gently stimulates the lymphatic system, promoting fluid movement and aiding in detoxification. The slow, deliberate pace, often observed in Japanese elders, highlights an important principle. Movement does not need to be intense to be effective. What matters is that it is consistent, purposeful, and repeated daily, allowing the body to maintain responsiveness across multiple systems. Beyond the physical benefits, walking in this mindful, unhurried way nurtures a sense of connection between the body and the environment. Each step becomes an opportunity to observe posture, rhythm, and balance. The body learns to coordinate its movements smoothly, conserving energy while staying fully engaged. In this way, walking transforms from a simple means of transportation into a subtle daily practice that preserves cardiovascular health, strengthens muscles, maintains joint mobility, and sharpens the nervous system's ability to guide movement with precision and confidence. Another set of movements observed consistently among Japanese elders focuses on the upper body gentle arm lifts, shoulder rolls, and slow stretches designed to open the chest and lengthen the spine. At first glance, these actions may seem almost meditative, simple gestures performed as part of daily chores or quiet routines. Yet from a physiological and biomechanical perspective, they play a crucial role in maintaining postural integrity, joint mobility, and respiratory efficiency. Particularly for adults over 50, these movements are not isolated exercises. They are part of a larger strategy to keep the body balanced, coordinated, and resilient without the need for equipment or formal training. When the arms lift overhead or extend outward, the shoulder joints move through their natural range of motion. Over decades, many adults develop a forward rounding of the shoulders, a pattern reinforced by long hours at desks, driving, or looking at screens. This posture often compresses the chest and limits the mobility of the thoracic spine. By deliberately opening the arms and rolling the shoulders backward, the muscles across the upper back, including the trapezius and rhomboids, are engaged and strengthened. These muscles counteract the forward pull of daily activities, promoting better alignment between the shoulders and spine and helping the upper body maintain a more upright and expansive posture. The chest, or pectoral muscles, is also gently stretched during these movements. Over time, this lengthening reduces tightness that can restrict breathing and compress the rib cage. When the chest can expand more fully, the diaphragm has greater freedom to move, supporting deeper and more efficient breathing. For adults over 50, this is particularly significant because lung capacity and chest wall flexibility naturally decline with age. Gentle, consistent stretching helps preserve the mobility of the rib cage, enabling the respiratory system to function with less restriction and more ease during both activity and rest. Additionally, these upper body movements have a stabilizing effect on the core. As the arms move and the shoulders adjust, the muscles of the spine, abdomen, and lower back respond to maintain balance. The nervous system continuously coordinates these adjustments, ensuring that movement is smooth and controlled rather than unstable or strained. This integration of upper body mobility and core stabilization reinforces the body's ability to maintain postural integrity during everyday tasks. From reaching overhead to lifting light objects, or even simply turning while walking. Another subtle benefit lies in the nervous system's engagement. Each movement requires attention to alignment, coordination, and control. Sensory feedback from the shoulders, arms, and spine travels to the brain, which then sends signals to adjust posture and muscle tension in real time. Over time, this consistent communication preserves proprioception and body awareness, critical components for preventing falls and maintaining fluidity of movement. Even the most simple gestures, lifting the arms, rolling the shoulders, Reaching gently to the sides carry profound physiological benefits when practiced daily. They maintain flexibility in joints that are prone to stiffness, strengthen muscles that support the spine, and promote a sense of openness in the torso that encourages natural breathing. Over weeks and months, this consistent engagement quietly counteracts the compressive patterns of modern life, reinforcing posture, coordination, and upper body strength in a way that supports both movement and confidence in older adults. A final movement that is quietly transformative in the daily lives of many Japanese elders focuses on balance and body awareness. This is not a dramatic or strenuous activity, but rather a set of deliberate, mindful, motion-shifting weight from one foot to the other, standing briefly on a single leg, or moving through small, coordinated patterns that challenge stability while remaining controlled. At first, these actions may appear almost meditative or subtle, yet they engage some of the most important systems for maintaining independence and reducing the risk of falls as the body ages. Balance is not a single skill. It is the integration of muscles, joints, and the nervous system, all working together to allow the body to respond to gravity, adjust to uneven surfaces, and maintain orientation in space. When a person stands on one leg, even briefly, the muscles around the ankle, knee, and hip are immediately recruited to stabilize the body. These muscles contract in precise, coordinated patterns to prevent wobbling or collapse. Simultaneously, the core muscles activate to maintain alignment of the spine and pelvis, creating a stable foundation for the body's movements. The nervous system constantly receives feedback from sensory receptors in the feet, joints, and muscles, interpreting shifts in pressure and position. This feedback allows the brain to fine-tune muscle activation, adjusting tension and coordination in fractions of a second. Over time, this continual recalibration strengthens both the muscular and neural systems that underpin balance. Deliberate weight shifts, such as leaning slightly to one side and returning to center, challenge the body to respond to subtle changes in center of gravity. These movements stimulate proprioception, the body's innate sense of position in space. Proprioception is one of the most critical factors for maintaining stability, particularly as people age. When the nervous system continues to receive varied sensory input from daily movement, it preserves its ability to coordinate complex adjustments, making walking on uneven surfaces, reaching for objects, or recovering from a trip far safer. Without this ongoing engagement, the brain and muscles gradually lose the precision required for these subtle corrections, increasing the risk of imbalance or falls. From a broader physiological perspective, balance movements also contribute to joint and muscular health as the body shifts and stabilizes. Small contractions throughout the lower limbs and core circulate blood to these areas, supporting nutrient delivery and waste removal. Even low-intensity movements have this effect, reinforcing joint lubrication, muscle tone, and flexibility over time. The repetition of these actions, when performed daily, accumulates into a quiet but powerful form of conditioning. The body becomes more confident in its ability to maintain upright posture and respond to external forces. Perhaps most importantly, these balance practices cultivate awareness and mindfulness. The movements require attention, slowing down habitual patterns of motion and encouraging a conscious connection between intention and action. For older adults, this awareness enhances both safety and fluidity of movement, allowing the body to remain adaptable in unpredictable situations. The mind and body learn to communicate more effectively, reinforcing the sense of control and stability that supports independence in daily life. Incorporating these simple, deliberate movements every day ensures that balance is not left to chance. Each subtle shift, each controlled sway, and each mindful adjustment strengthens the complex systems that allow the body to move gracefully and safely. Over time, these repeated micro-challenges to stability build resilience, helping older adults maintain mobility, confidence, and a sense of groundedness that supports both physical and mental well-being.